According to Catherine Yang of Educare, mentoring is a professional activity, a trusted relationship, and a meaningful commitment. The Marion Online Dictionary defines a mentor as a trusted counselor or guide. More recently, the art of mentoring consists of long-term, ongoing relationship focused on the growth and development of the mentee. Many successful and prominent leaders will concur that the guidance of a trustworthy and committed mentor has played a significant role in shaping their career. Whatever your responsibilities, one can oftentimes learn from those that possess more wisdom and experience than them. In today's episode of I Want to Speak to the Principal, we will explore the concept of cross-skilled mentoring. More specifically, how can individuals from different professions train and coach each other to form essential skills for growth and development in their chosen careers? Our aim in this session is to share with our listeners innovative, creative, and thought-provoking educational tools so they may more effectively lead their schools and classrooms. So sit back, relax, and join us for another episode of I Want to Speak to the Principal.
Welcome to another episode of I Want to Speak to the Principal. My name is William Jeffrey, and I am here with my illustrious host, Dr. Michael Millstead.
Good morning, Will, and I think you sold yourself a little short. I normally call you the amazing and dynamic Mr. William Jeffries. Good morning, Will. How are you this morning?
Hey, I'm good, man.
That's good.
But I can't call myself amazing and dynamic.
Why not?
I have to call myself awesome.
Well, there you go. That's just as good.
That's how we get down. Man, this is the catching up section of our podcast,
right.
And you have been busy.
Yeah, a little bit, Will. A little bit. Man, I have just been blessed also over the past few months. I've had a few items that I can actually check out my bucket list that have occurred. Right. Recently, I published an article along with my college dean, Dr. Potes at Texas, Dr. Lillian Potes, that is, over at Texas Southern University. We published an article in School Leadership Review. Actually, it was an article from my dissertation.
Yes.
And so that was in the summer 2018 episode of School Leadership Review. Also, you and I wrote an article in EduMatch.
Published authors now.
There you go.
My first authorship.
Mine also. Yes. Yeah, and also. So we published an article, Parental Involvement, Leaving No Child Behind.
Yes.
And
EduSnap 2018.
So we want to send a big shout out to Sarah Thomas. Yeah.
And there are 21 other authors that are in there, and I think we need to get these authors on the show.
Absolutely. That sounds great.
Let's talk about our chapters in the book.
That sounds great. Again, I just want to thank Sarah for providing us with that platform for being able to get our writings out there. And something that I'm also very excited by, I'm being honored by my university, Texas Southern University, is where I received my doctorate degree. They're honoring me as one of their outstanding educators for 2018.
Wow.
So, we'll be...
But I already knew that. I knew he was an outstanding educator.
Well, I appreciate that, Will, but it is truly an honor to be acknowledged for the work that I've done in past years with trying to help promote growth in teachers, educators, and students.
Yes, you are so correct.
Yeah.
I've been busy too. I received an award from the Parents in Public Schools Award.
There you go. Right. Yeah.
That was an amazing feat for me, simply because I don't work in the Houston ISD area anymore. But I got the award, which was pretty amazing, being a surrounded school district and getting that award from Parents in Public Schools.
See, I believe that's when you know that your work is appreciated and acknowledged, when you're not even there anymore, right. Man, and you've left, so you left a legacy, and they're just acknowledging for that. So that's when you know that your work is meaningful, I believe.
Pretty amazing deal.
Yeah.
So let's get to our topic.
Okay.
In our next segment, we're going to talk about cross-skill mentoring.
Sounds good.
We are going to talk a little bit about mentoring.
Yeah.
Tell me, what is your definition of mentoring?
Well, mentoring means a lot of different things to a lot of different people, I would guess. I think mentoring basically it's just a relationship, I think, between two people with the goal of professional and personal development. I think the mentor is usually the more experienced individual who kind of shares their wisdom, knowledge, and experience and advice with someone who's probably less experienced in that person. In both the mentoring process as the mentor and the mentee, I think each have a duty to each other. Right. And so we want to kind of explore that a little bit. I think there are significant benefits in mentoring for both parties. For the mentee, they get an opportunity once again to learn from someone who has probably been there before and done that. I think for the mentor, they too get an opportunity to learn from the mentee. But they grow also because the mentor knows that they're providing information to the other person, so they're a little bit more thoughtful and precise and calculated, I guess you would say, in their language and their behaviors towards that person.
I agree. Mm-hmm. However, we've talked several times about forced mentorship.
Right. Mm-hmm.
And a lot of times, specifically in education, mm-hmm. it is a forced mentorship mm-hmm. where you are forced to mm-hmm. mentor somebody.
Right.
How does that definition play in a forced mentorship?
Well, I think anytime you use the word force, that means doing something really that you may not be totally committed to. Right. It more so from a obligation standpoint. I think the when mentoring is at its best is when two individuals that are engaged in the process trust each other, they're committed to each other's growth, particularly the mentor to the mentee's growth, and it's something natural. It's something that is non-judgmental. It's just used again as a professional growth for the mentee.
Right. Mm-hmm. And I'm going to go back to the educational mm-hmm. Example,
right?
Because educators, and I'm going to use the word forced again.
Right.
Educators who are required to mentor somebody mm-hmm. are always seen as the expert mm-hmm. in the person that they're mentoring.
Right.
So personally, I have a problem with that relationship mm-hmm. because it doesn't look at the mentor has to look into the embodied cognition mm-hmm. of the person that they're mentoring.
Right.
So to say that you're the straight expert, mm-hmm. you're kind of dismissing what you can learn from the mentee.
I agree with you wholeheartedly. Yeah. And that's why, man, every person that I have been asked to mentor, I have not only given information, but I've also received a lot from them also that have helped me grow as a professional. And I think that's where we develop the term cross-skilled mentoring, is that I've mentored leaders, and I've mentored teachers. I've mentored folks in other fields, and so I've learned from them just as they've learned from me. And what I have learned have helped me develop as a professional and as a leader and as an educator also. Well, I'm always telling people just how smart you are and how well-read you are and all the background knowledge you have on history and things like that.
Why, thank you. Thank you, sir.
Well, let me ask you a question, though. Where do you think that the word mentor came from?
Oh, man. Mentor. Mm-hmm. Ooh, let's see, you set me up. Okay, so, but I don't know.
Well, and sometimes it's okay to just say, "Hey, I don't know. I need help. Can I phone a friend on that?"
Yeah. Hey, let me phone a friend. Let me phone my homework.
There you go. That's what I got. Well, I did a little research on that, and I found that the original word for mentor can be traced back to the Greeks, back to Homer's epic poem, The Odyssey. You remember studying that in high school?
I do.
Yeah, the Odyssey. Well, when Odysseus, who was king of Ithaca at the time, went to fight the Trojan War, he entrusted the care of his kingdom to who?
Mentor.
Mentor, there you go. Ding, 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 ding. Ding, 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 ding. So mentor served as the teacher and overseer of Odysseus, who was son of Telemachus. Telemachus. That's one name you haven't seen on your student roll.
Hey, I have not.
You just see it a lot, but you never see it.
I don't know if it's going to be pronounced.
Well, the shirt wasn't pronounced right here. Telemachus. If I misspelled or misspoke your words, please forgive me. Let the Greek gods please shine on me and forgive me.
Don't go tell your mama.
There you go.
Call your name down.
There you go. We just thought I'd like to just kind of have that input as we were talking about mentors. A lot of times people like to have a little background on where a word comes from.
I love that.
Yeah.
And what I like about King Odysseus was he recognized that mentor had the knowledge to run his kingdom while he was away.
There you go. And as the definition said, he both taught and oversaw Odysseus' son.
Yes.
Telemachus. Big T.
Hey, so this is really... have developed the term cross skills mentoring. We did this episode on Past the Scope EDU where we discussed the relationship portion of the cross skills mentoring. So let's share with our listeners here what we talked about as far as cross skills and how we develop that situation.
Oh, I'd be happy to share. You know, Will, prior to me meeting you, I was I was limited, as I told you, in my very limited in my technology skills. And after meeting you and just kind of watching you and you sharing information with me on just how to manipulate a computer, the different programs and things like that, and I feel very competent now that I can do a lot of things that I could not do prior to you mentoring me in that particular skill. And as a leader, you have to have those technology skills in order to be effective in today's world, for the most part. Exactly. And so I think and then on the other hand, you and I talked, we talked about leadership where my background was as a building principal for over 18 years or so. And so we talked about those, and I think I was able to provide you with some things in regards to leadership.
Most definitely leadership experience, because I am in an advisory role, and in that advisory role I needed background information and insight and what principals find important.
Right.
I myself have never been a principal.
Right.
I am in the other side of the education, which is in the district office.
Right.
So that can be seen as an adversary to some.
Right.
And for some, it can be seen as a support. But I can easily mess up that role by not developing the proper relationships and understanding that I need in order to be a support for a principal. Right. So I was very encouraged by the guidance that you are able to give me as a building principal for 18 years in various situations. So that is definitely what I got from the relationship. Right. But we also, something else happened between us. Unofficially mentoring each other and helping each other out. Right. We became friends.
Absolutely. Well, and that's what I wanted to kind of expand on, is that one of the things that grew from our mentoring each other, our cross-skills mentoring, is that we developed a trust and we developed a relationship. You know, we were non-judgmental. When I would come in and ask you some pretty novice, I guess, questions about technology, how to do this, that you never said, wow, man, you've been a principal for 18, you don't know how to do this. You took your time, you explained it to me, you allowed me to make mistakes, and you took the Socratic approach to my professional development in technology, that you asked me questions and you allowed me to do the work, and then you helped me to make the corrections on it. So, but I think it all came came from us, first of all, building a relationship, because we talked quite a bit, and then we began to start to trust each other. And I think whenever there's any type of mentor-mentee relationship, even in a cross skill, there has to be the element of relationship building and trust. I think that's two key components in effective mentoring.
So relationship building, number one, and let's dive a little bit deeper into that. And the reason why I felt the relationship between you and I was able to grow is because I felt you had a genuine interest in my career when I was asking you those questions. So, coming from another school district, being new to a school district, trying to relate to people very quickly, you were able to guide me, but I felt like you had an interest in my career as I progressed. Do you have anything to say about that?
Well, I just want to say that, I developed that skill from my mentors, Dr. Theodore Romero and Robert Bell. And both of them told me when they were mentoring me, when I was coming up through the system as a principal, always just kind of share your knowledge with people who are deserving and who really want to grow and who will also listen to you. And that's one of the things that I found with you is that, when we started talking, I noticed that you would listen to what I would say.
Hold on one second now. My wife is going to be listening to this podcast.
Right.
So you might want to repeat that I do listen.
Yeah, you do. Yeah, you do listen. I've had the opportunity to mentor quite a few young school leaders, and I attempt to develop a relationship with them where they would trust me and I would trust them. But oftentimes I would find if I would tell a young leader, hey, go to the left. Go left. I'm telling you, don't go right. I've been that way before, and right is not going to lead you to where you want to go. Well, on their own, they would go right. And and the thing is, I wouldn't give up on them after that. Yeah. But after you tell them to go right, don't go right the first time, you expect that next time that they wouldn't go right. But they kept going to the right when they should have been going to the left. And I found that when I would talk to you, I would just share with you some of the things that may derail you and not to go that particular direction, and you would actually listen, and so I just found it that it's easier to I believe as a mentor to work with someone who also believes that you are committed to their relationship. I think then you're more apt to give more information. Again, you're not judgmental. You just kind of try to lead them to the success, and so they won't fall into some of the chasms that you may have fell into as you were going along that journey.
Excellent. There were a couple of people who reached out to us on Twitter, and one of the I guess you can say one of the things that they wanted to find out was how can people mentor, and it was specifically to black men. How can black men in education where there's a scarcity of black men, how can they reach out over a platform like Twitter? So when they reached out, I immediately thought about who were my mentors. Right. And you are an excellent mentor, and the fact that you respected my cognition before we met. Right. I talked about Sarah Thomas. I talked about Shelley Terrell. I talked about Dr. Allegra McGrew, who was my leader before. And she actually worked with you as well. Exactly. She was assistant principal with you, but I feel she was very instrumental in grooming me. What advice do you have for a young principal? We won't go into what advice do you have for a young principal who is looking for a mentorship?
Well, it's important. I mean, there are a lot of organizations, educational organizations, where you can find good quality mentors in it. A lot of times in your school districts, I know in the current district I'm in, I'm no longer a principal. I'm working in central office, but I mentor a couple of principals in my district. But it is vitally important that a new principal finds someone who trusts them, who they trust also, who they feel are committed to developing them as a professional, and someone that they can kind of share with. Being a principal, there's a book that was called a long time ago. It was called It's Lonely at the Top. Being a principal is a very lonely position, and sometimes you just think that you're just out on an island by yourself, and you really need someone that you can kind of talk to, kind of bounce things off sometime, and who can provide you with some feedback and some knowledge and some wisdom that can help you get through particular situations. So it's vitally important that that you find a mentor. It doesn't necessarily mean as a man that you have to find another male.
Right.
It can be a female. It doesn't necessarily mean that the person have to be of a particular race or ethnicity, but someone that you've developed that trust in, and they develop a trust and committed to your growth and development.
This brings us to the end of our episode of I Want to Speak to the Principal, Cross Skills Mentoring. Dr. Milstead, do you want to leave us with some words of wisdom?
Well, I don't know how wise these words are, but I just want to again reiterate the importance of mentoring, both for the mentor and the mentee. One of the most important things that you can do while mentoring is make sure that you provide the mentee with accurate information, with information that is non-judgmental, information that can aid being non-judgmental, and also working for in the best interest of the professional growth and development of the mentee. The mentee also has a responsibility, and that is to respect the mentor and his time. Listen carefully. Ask questions. Ask questions of the mentor if you're not real clear. Also, have your mentor give you some examples of some things that you may not clearly understand. I think cross-skilled mentoring is vitally important in today's society, because the more knowledge that you have in different areas, the more you grow as a profession. I gave the example of your background in technology and mine in leadership and how it mixed well. And so we had a great mentor relationship on both sides. You as the mentor and me as the mentee, and then me as the mentor and you as the mentee. And I think from that, not only did we grow from professional, our respect for each other and what we also do has grown also.
Exactly. That relationship has spun into several different educational opportunities for us both. Mm-hmm. So within that, we'll close our show. I would like to tell you thank you for another great episode.
Absolutely.
And on our next episode, we will be talking about our book, and we'll get our authors on.
Sounds good.
The views, thoughts, and opinions expressed during this or any broadcast belong solely to our guests or our hosts. These broadcasts do not represent or reflect the views of their employers, sponsors, or affiliated organizations.